Joining me now is our French politics editor, Marc Perelman, who's clearly in the middle of a very busy period. Marc, the polls are saying the far right is currently the clear favourite, still riding on the success of the European elections.
Yes, absolutely. The polls, we have really to take them with a grain of salt because obviously this is uncharted territory. We don't know if the results from the European elections will really translate into strong showing for the National Rally, or at least an absolute majority, which is their target. But clearly, they will have a sizable representation in the National Assembly. There's no doubt. First of all, because those are 577 constituencies, 577 races, but the National Rally has really improved quite a lot its local anchorage. And in the European elections, it arrived first in over 90% of towns and villages in France. And you don't do this if you don't have a strong local anchorage. So they're really, really in a very, very good position. However, does this mean they will be able to reach 289, which is the magic number, the number of seats you need to have an absolute majority? That's a tall order, first of all, because there could be more turnout, especially from voters who don't want the National Rally to reach power through a prime minister. And there could be also what we're seeing on the left, and which wasn't there during the European election, meaning a new coalition. After the shock of the election and the shock of President Macron calling for a snap election, the left very quickly united. The four parties were able to unite, agreeing on the outlines of a program, despite bitter divisions during the campaign, and also agreeing on a key principle for a two-round majority vote election system like we will have for those elections, meaning fielding only one candidate in each constituency. So you could end up having in each constituency a National Rally candidate facing off against a leftist candidate, which obviously calls into question what happens with Emmanuel Macron's majority.
Exactly, and that's what I want to ask you, because if anyone's looking like a loser at this point, it certainly does appear to be Emmanuel Macron's camp, doesn't it?
Well, clearly he took a major gamble when he decided, without being obliged to. I mean, we have to stress that there was no obligation for him to do what he did, dissolving the National Assembly. It's only the sixth time under the Fifth Republic, and in none of the other cases did we have such a situation where the president could have said, well, I'm continuing. He decided to roll the dice. His idea was, okay, I'm going to create a centrist bloc. Essentially, this is how he got elected, but by enlarging it to moderate leftist politicians, moderate conservative politicians. However, if there could be some moderates from the right that could agree with Emmanuel Macron. This is not happening on the left precisely because of this coalition that we just talked about. So now the projections are that not only will Emmanuel Macron lose the relative majority he currently has in parliament, but his majority could really shrink and become a tiny minority in parliament, which would be an absolute disaster for Emmanuel Macron. His best hope might be a hung parliament, meaning that the National Rally would arrive first, but with no majority, that the left would not have a majority, and that there would have to be some kind of German-style coalition in parliament where he, as president, could still have a say, but that's very, very complicated in any case. And so clearly the odds are not looking good for the president with only a few days to go before round one on June the 30th.
Marc Perelman, thank you so much for that analysis.